The melody was still with him. The late afternoon sun cast long, gentle shadows across the emerald fields of County Clare in Ireland, painting the grass in hues of gold and green. A young boy named Finn stood alone in a vast field, the wind softly rustling through his auburn hair, freckles dancing across his nose. He wore a green vest, a little rumpled, and his eyes, usually bright and full of mischief, held a quiet sadness. The annual Ennies Trad music competition had just ended, and the lively tunes that had filled the air only moments ago were now replaced by the whispers of the wind. Tents were being taken down, families were packing up, and the cheerful buzz of the crowd was slowly fading away, leaving Finn alone with his thoughts. He walked slowly, his gaze fixed on the ground, kicking up small clumps of earth as he went. The music competition was something Finn looked forward to all year. He loved playing his tin whistle, the bright, clear notes echoing across the fields and into the hearts of everyone who listened. This year, he had practiced harder than ever before, his little fingers flying over the holes of the whistle, pouring his heart into every note. He dreamt of winning, of hearing his name called out, of holding the gleaming silver trophy high above his head, but it hadn't happened. He had stumbled over a tricky part of the tune, his fingers fumbling, the notes wavering. He hadn't won. The disappointment weighed heavy on him, a dull ache in his chest. He felt a lump in his throat, and his eyes stung with unshed tears. He longed to be anywhere but here, in this empty field, with the echoes of his failure swirling around him. As he walked, he noticed a small patch of wildflowers, their delicate petals swaying gently in the breeze. He stopped to look at them, their vibrant colors a welcome contrast to the grayness he felt inside. He knelt down, gently touching a velvety petal of a purple flower. A ladybug landed on his finger, its tiny legs tickling his skin. He smiled faintly, a small, fleeting moment of joy. Suddenly, he remembered his tin whistle. Panic flared in his chest. He patted his pockets, his vest, his small backpack. It wasn't there. He must have left it near the stage. He turned and ran back towards the now almost empty competition grounds, his heart pounding in his chest. The sun was starting to dip below the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows. He reached the stage, his breath coming in ragged gasps, his eyes scanning the area frantically. No tin whistle. He searched under the benches, behind the tents, his hope dwindling with each passing moment. Finally, he had to accept it. It was gone. Defeated, Finn sank onto a nearby bench, the weight of his loss pressing down on him. Not only had he not won, but he had also lost his beloved tin whistle, the instrument that brought him so much joy. Tears welled up in his eyes, and this time, he didn't try to stop them. They streamed down his face, hot and heavy, mingling with the dust on his cheeks. An old woman, her face etched with wrinkles, and her eyes twinkling with kindness, approached him. She carried a worn wooden case and walked with the aid of a carved walking stick. "Lost something, Sonny?" she asked gently, her voice as soft as the evening breeze. Finn nodded, unable to speak through his tears. "My tin whistle," he choked out. "I lost it." The woman sat down beside him, her presence a comforting balm to his wounded spirit. "Ah, the tin whistle," she said, her voice filled with understanding. "A beautiful instrument, but it's just an instrument, you know. The music, the real music, is in here." She tapped her chest, right over her heart. Finn looked at her, confused. "I didn't win," he mumbled, his voice thick with emotion. "I messed up, and now I've lost my whistle." The old woman smiled knowingly. "Winning isn't everything, Finn. It's about the joy of playing, the connection you feel to the music, to your heritage, and sometimes," she added, "losing can teach us even more than winning." She opened her wooden case and took out a beautifully crafted bedron, an Irish frame drum. The skin of the drum was stretched taut over a wooden frame, and intricate Celtic designs adorned its surface. "Come," she said, her eyes twinkling. "Let's make some music together." Finn hesitated. He didn't feel like playing. He felt like hiding, like disappearing. But the old woman's gentle smile and the warmth in her eyes coaxed him out of his despair. He sat up a little straighter, intrigued by the bedron. The old woman began to play, her hand moving across the drum with practiced ease. A rhythmic beat filled the air, grounding and calming. She closed her eyes, her face radiating pure joy. "Listen," she said, her voice barely a whisper above the beat of the drum. "Listen to the rhythm of the earth, the heartbeat of Ireland." Finn listened. He heard the wind rustling through the grass, the distant bleating of sheep, the chirping of crickets, and beneath it all, he heard the steady, comforting rhythm of the bedron, like a heartbeat. The old woman began to hum a traditional Irish tune, her voice clear and strong. It was a lively melody, filled with joy and sorrow, with longing and hope. Finn found himself tapping his foot along to the beat, his fingers itching to play. After a while, the old woman stopped playing. "Your turn," she said, offering him the bedron. Finn looked at it hesitantly. He had never played a bedron before. "I don't know how," he said. "Just feel the rhythm," the old woman replied. "Let it guide you." Finn took the bedron in his hands, feeling the smooth wood and the taut skin. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He thought of the music he loved, the tunes that filled his heart with joy. And then he began to play. At first, his movements were clumsy and uncertain. But as he listened to the rhythm of his own heart, his hands began to move more freely, more confidently. He found himself creating his own rhythm, his own melody, complementing the tune that still echoed in his mind. He played with the old woman for a long time, lost in the music, forgetting his disappointment, his loss, his fear. He was simply present, connected to the music, to the earth, to the old woman beside him. As the stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, the old woman packed up her bedron. "Time for me to go, Sonny," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "Thank you," Finn said, his voice filled with gratitude. "I feel much better." The old woman smiled. "Remember, Finn," she said, "the music is always within you. You don't need a tin whistle to make it sing." She stood up, leaning on her walking stick. "And don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're just lessons in disguise." With a final nod, she turned and walked away, disappearing into the shadows. Finn watched her go, feeling a sense of peace he hadn't felt all day. He realized that the old woman was right. The music wasn't just in the tin whistle. It was in his heart, in his soul, and even though he had lost his whistle, he hadn't lost his music. He stood up and looked out at the vast, starlit field. The wind whispered through the grass, carrying the scent of wildflowers and the faint echo of the bedron. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, feeling the cool night air fill his lungs. He didn't need a trophy to be a musician. He didn't need a perfect performance to feel joy. He just needed to listen to the music within him, to let it flow freely, without fear or judgment. He started to walk back towards home, his steps lighter, his heart filled with a quiet contentment. He might not have won the competition, but he had learned something far more valuable. He had learned to let go of perfection, to embrace the joy of imperfection, to find the music within himself, even in the face of loss. And as he walked, he began to hum a familiar tune, his voice soft but clear, his heart filled with the music of Ireland. The melody was still with him, safe and sound, where it truly belonged. And that was all that mattered. The stars twinkled above, watching over him as he drifted off to sleep, dreaming of music and magic and the endless possibilities of a new day. Item 1.